So while starting your alphabets, here's what you need to do. So I have some letters that I photographed. They need some help, before I actually start to put them into the template. So my letter A is looking good. My letter B needs a little help. So do your editing before you start your alphabet and putting it into your template. So what do I need to do first here? I need to make this look like the letter B. So I'm going to my cropping tool. I need to flip this. I can bring, my cropping stuff in a little bit to be where I want it to be. No pun intended with the letter B. And then once you get your letter configured, then you would just go ahead and hit your done. All right, so I have to do one more thing with the letter C here, where again, I'm going to go to edit. Crop as much as you need to. Remember, the whole point of this assignment is that we just want to see the letter isolated. So if my letter C is just this little part right here using part of a scissors, that would be my letter C. And then again, hit done when you are done. So the next point that I want to make is now you're going to go to the mix. So here we go, and I have, my photos or, starting a project for the mix. I can go to my recents here. I can go to my letter A and start with my letter A. All right. Now what you're going to do is you're actually going to just resize your letter so that it's small enough that you can actually fit multiple letters on here. In fact, the entire alphabet, correct? So now what I want to do is I want to go to plus, I'm going to go to image, I want to go ahead and find my letter B that I got here. So then I can click on my letter B and I'm going to move it right next to my letter A, and look at what Photoshop is going to do. Hey, perfect. It just sized my photo. So all my letters are now going to be the same height. What you will end up having to do is that over here on the layer side, on the right-hand side, you might end up with a lot of layers, and Photoshop Mix is going to say, hey, you can't put any more images on this template. We have too many layers. Well, you know what to do. I'm going to go to the layer above. I'm going to go to merge down, and now my letter A and B are combined. Okay, so that now when I introduce my next letter, so I go here, I go to image, I go to my letter C, I bring that in, I bring that up, right to the corner there. I start to resize my letter C, and boom, my C is the same height. So if I'm going to do this all out of objects in the photo room, scissors, bottle openers in order to open up film cassettes and all that kind of stuff, that's what I could do to complete my entire alphabet. Again, click on that top layer and go to merge down. I would not suggest merging, any other letters besides the letters that are right next to one another. Now, let's say you run out of space and you have your letter D, E, F, and you want to squeeze in the letter G over here. Well, look what happens when I go to my cropping tool on the top left-hand side. I can now extend my canvas. I can bring it down lower as well. Anything you want to do with your canvas to make it bigger so that you can, fit all your letters in. And then what you could do is you then go and recrop your image, click your check mark, and that will apply your new, border or your new frame size to your entire alphabet. Inevitably, you might end up with one letter. If you keep your photos the way they are on your phone and you don't do any cropping, inevitably you're going to end up with the letter Z in its own row. But if you do pre-crop your photos, you might be able to have, your photos won't necessarily be the same dimensions, and therefore some of your rows might be a little bit wider or narrower. It's totally your call when it comes to creating the template that you're going to create. You can also use Photoshop, the app, in order to do this as well, very similar to the Kaleidoscope assignment. But right now, using Photoshop Mix, you can see how easy it is to put together your alphabet. Once you're done, of course, go to save to your camera roll, and then you can post to your alphabet discussion group for Photo 1.